Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
CJ's here for 11:45.
Great. Hey, John.
Morning. Morning.
No. That's him down in there, he's a high.
That's in third year.
Got some cards here to send one to each of the shops, just sign of your appreciation to the plow drivers and things, and something like happy holiday. Thank you for arranging that, Brian.
Good? Those we can put in here.
I think so, it's like I like to keep my own seat.
So I had one of those home-guard monster trucks.
Yep.
There were 7 of them all lined up there. 4 of them went, 3 went on the other, then all of a sudden they took off in every direction. We have A, C, C, P, G, must be fire after.
Probably, yeah. They have to ask them, technically they should have an easement. If they're putting something on private property, it should be on easement.
That's correct, it should be a utility easement.
Because I don't know if they'll mark, you know, later on, figure something, they'll mark something that's not on the right of way.
Well, you see, they moved way out of that, off the, was just a right away to take, because they're trying to stay away from the previous stuff, so they're actually off. But I,
Yeah, there he is. Oh, but yeah, they've got crews all over this county right now. It's something we're on an agenda item to talk about. We need to address our fee for that. There's a lot of crews out there, especially on the east side. They're just following the cable everywhere. It's good. People want broadband and need it.
oh, yeah.
Running a little wild.
Yeah, I will call this regular meeting of the Dodge County Highway Committee to order at 7:00. We'll call 4 members are present. I invited Supervisor Belk to call in if he was able, so I'm sure that he will as well. Supervisor Holchin, do you wish to be paid this meeting? I will move down to item number 11. Do you wish to get paid for this meeting? No. All right. Let AJ tell us about what we got going on with the equipment.
We have 4 different items here that we're gonna go over. We wanna go over them individually and then we'll make a proposal at the end, okay? Picture or the evaluation sheet. There you go. So we're taking a bid for a 2024 newer 6120M John Deere tractor. We received 3 proposals. Eastern Schnell, Mid-State Equipment, Ballway Equipment. Eastern, all the pieces of equipment met spec. There's not a lot of variation on the tractors. Eastern Schnell came in the cheapest at $114,100. The highway department proposal is to purchase 1 tractor from Eastern Schnell for $114,100. Take up one of my all the tractors are fairly equally, only difference really was price, so there's no difference in spec. Some came in, $3,400 lower than a best competitor. Any questions? Okay, go to the next one. This one,
We should probably handle these individually.
you want to handle them individually?
Yeah. We can separately.
I wanted to have public comment, but you skipped over it for some reason. So I did want that, but my question on this is, when did these RFPs go out? Because you didn't have a meeting last month, and you didn't know that you were going to have the money for them for sure the month before. So the committee never had time to say, yes, let's put some RFPs on.
They were budgeted, they were approved through the budget process. At that point, the department sent them out, sent out the bids, and we were able to approve in the budget process. And we're looking at them right now and taking action to accept whatever the bid is. All right. Would entertain a motion to approve the quotation for one John Deere tractor from Easter Schnell, which is the whole bid.
So these have municipal discount now?
So, are these tractors in stock, are they gonna be ordered?
They have to be ordered May of '24 is so spring, late spring. They're all about the same. One other vendor was June of '24 and one vendor was 6 months from award date. Eastern Snell is actually the earliest.
When was it that we discussed this purchase?
They were all approved by the county board through the budget, in our budget.
We discussed our budget request in here numerous occasions, 3 months in a row.
I just don't recall going over the need and the replacement.
Back in the agendas, I'm sure our budget request and that list of equipment was on at least 3 months.
It's significant time.
Do we have the publication of the request for bids?
They don't get published.
We send them to a list of vendors. And you can only send them so much. If you send them out too far, they get kicked back because they're not in our area. They can't, they're forbidden by the vendor to bid.
Any other questions, comments? I will make the motion to approve the quotation for the John Deere. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Great.
Just down that street. Yep. This is for 4 mat tracks, so GR84 FR tracks and chassis that we build into the plow trucks. We received 1 bid from Creek Truck in Madison. $638,880 for chassis.
Did we put out any requests for other bids as we discussed at our meeting when we were trying to shop?
For other brands?
No, for other
Vendors?
vendors.
Yes. We sent them across
Assuming we
trucks.
received no information.
We received no other bids. We send them to.
What other close vendors are there?
Crete owns most of the Mack dealerships in Wisconsin, other than La Crosse, I believe.
We sent to La Crosse.
Fortunately, that's what we were hoping.
Consolidation is just the way it is for supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right, these were below what was budgeted, as I recall.
These trucks, yes, I budgeted for a 5% increase over last year, this is less than 5%. This turns out to be the $159,000 last year, we were at $155,500, if I recall correctly.
Is there any further comments or discussion? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve. Motion by John. Second by Dale. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
I've got the
That one.
food cabs.
This is a tabulation for 2 2024 newer 7,000-pound GVW, which would be a half-ton 4x4 crew cab pickup. Received 2 bids, one from Bad Badger Truck and Automotive, and one from Ewald and Hartford. Trucks were fairly identical, quotes were identical pretty much. Ewald came in a little bit of 100,802.
Expansion budget for it.
Yes. Yep. And we send this to all the dealers in the area. This went to Countryside, GL. Ewald has the state contract.
Was that through the state program then, were they really through?
We deal directly with, even when you buy through state pricing, you deal directly with the dealership, so I don't know. But they're, like if the state of Wisconsin buys a pickup, buys a Ford pickup, they buy it.
I'm familiar with these vehicles. What are we using these for?
These two are supervisor vehicles.
And what are we replacing with?
Two 2020
Yeah, 2020.
Chevy 3/4 tons, or else get about 100,000 miles a piece on it.
Which is,
You'd be replacing Brian Newsom's truck.
There you
They have
So what are-
80-some thousand miles on it.
I added
About 80,000 miles on
That's
it.
correct.
380.
what is the annual use of these?
That's-
We get the
It's-
resolution
They
referred.
use it for the supervisors for inspecting roads and going to jobs.
Do we haul anything with them or pull the trailers with them?
Haul equipment as needed.
We don't plow with them, they're not rigged for plows, they're rigged for turnover. These are trucks that done right cost us almost nothing. That's why we do this. They're very low cost, ownership cost trucks to us if we do it right.
So these are 150s you're bringing on versus?
These are
These are
150s.
They're downside.
Yes.
So we're using these as cars.
Oh no, they haul crews, they haul equipment, everybody's got their gear in their trucks, at least for big cars, they're real.
Yeah. I will tell you, the back of Nate and Joe's pickup trucks are full of stuff. They have tools in there. They
Barricades,
have road
cones,
signs in
survey
there.
equipment,
Survey equipment, stakes.
All crews, all equipment out to crews as needed.
I mean, I've seen them on the budget, but other than that, this is the first time I'm hearing about replacing these vehicles.
It's, like Brian said, it's a proposal. If we get rid of them at 100,000 miles, we can still sell them and get something for the used vehicle before we stick a bunch of maintenance in them and it costs us money.
If they run another year, they're gonna have 120,000 miles.
So are we trading in our current ones then?
Well,
We auction.
And then the proceeds from that go?
well, built into the budget is anticipated revenue, so it's all part of the budget. It's not extra money.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Entertain a motion. I'll make the motion to approve the bid from Ewald on the two pickups. Is there a second? Second by Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, item C is equipment quotation for two crew cabs with utility bodies.
So these are foreman trucks. These are the trucks you would see. They'd be a crew cab with a utility body on them, side cabs, sort of maintenance service truck. We received two bids again, one from Badger Truck, one from Ewald Ford Hartford. They all met the spec. They all had the same aluminum service body. Ewald came in at $136,860 at the low bid. The other bid was $149,824. Proposal is by two. One-ton crew cab with foreman bodies from Ewald for the low bid of $136,860.
So what are the miles on these when we get rid of them?
run these and wear them out. The currents, so we would be replacing a 2006 GMC with 211,000 miles on it. That trophy shop.
I'm just curious. Are these the same two trucks that were in last year's budget that we weren't able to get?
You got,
Yes.
well, you got one.
Last year we received one extended cab with a dump on it. These two foreman trucks were on last year, yes. We just didn't get allocation. This year, through Ford, we were allocated for 5 cab chassis, which is what this would be considered. Because it'll go to a body vendor, and so a body vendor will put the body on it. So we get 5 cab chassis from Ford this year, so we could have bought up to 5. Last year, we were only allocated 1. So the allocation is opening up a little bit.
And then the
Was that
body
just
vendor price
Is
is on
included
top
in
of
this.
that?
No, no, the body vendor price is included in this. He-Wall gives us a package bid. They'll normally give us a couple body vendors, you know, He-Wall does anyway. We're going with the lowest one. There was no difference in the body, both body vendors, we received 2 quotes for the body vendor. There was no difference, it was the Class body. One was through Monroe Truck and the other one was through Monroe on the body. So we're going with the low bid on the body. So that's delivered, body on, hitch on.
And these will be purchased this time?
I have allocation for them, yes, I have a bid from you all. Last year, they didn't bid, we actually had last year, just to clarify, we had a vendor bid, and then he pulled his bid. Because it was Van Horn out of, Travis Korloff on Van Horn out of Oconomo, North Elmira. He bid, and he was kind of new to the game, and then he couldn't get trucks, and he pulled his bid back.
But that same allocation that they were given 5, I was just at procurement conference last week. A lot of counties and state Department of Correction, that allocation will be going down by the end of December, the figure, because they thought they had a lot more than what they're figuring on. And so we will be seeing that again where they're going back to bids.
I mean-
Allocations are going down.
I mean, the reason we only got bids for Fords
It's all
for
timing.
change because Dodge and Chevy's allocation is closer.
Entertain a motion to accept the low bid.
I'll see.
By John, second by Dale. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Is that all you got for us?
That is all I have. Thanks for your time. I'll
We'll let you get to work. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on then to item E. I believe we have guests here that are interested in the driveway appeal on S in the town of Beaver Dam.
Yes. First of all, could I have your names for the
John Sweet. What's that?
Pamela.
Oh, that's it.
Thomasher.
That's good.
Brian Field? I remember back when we
Oh,
both were
yeah,
going. It's been a long time.
that's right,
A long
it's been a
time.
while.
Good to see you, Pam.
Yes.
Hi, Brian, thanks for coming. These folks would like to talk about a driveway appeal on Highway S.
John and Pam want to create a new lot to build a new house on, just north of their existing lot. And we had Nate come out, and Nate said, I can't give you a permit for a new driveway because of the view and the hill and everything. So our next step is to come to you guys and ask if we can have a shared driveway at the existing entrance now, so that they can share their house, their existing home with the new home they want to build. So before we go to Joe Giebel, we thought it'd be smart to come to you guys and see if we can get a driveway or not, because if we can't get a driveway, it doesn't pay to go to Joe.
This is on Highway S, west of Highway G.
Just west of Lipsick, on top of the hill up by Center Road, going towards Beaver Dam. Center Road would be right at the top of the picture going in.
The dark shaded area would be the newly created lot, and they would share that existing driveway, which is a property they also own.
Yeah. They own 45 total?
50.
50. Well, there's 12 on this side, and 35 on the other, so.
Given the topography and the radius of that curve, there's no other good option for a safe drive over that property.
Sight lines are best with the driveway that's there, if you try to do anything different.
Basically, we're not asking for a new driveway, we're asking to change the existing driveway to a shared rather than a single or a residential, whatever it is.
Any physical changes to the driveway?
No, I don't think so. How wide is that driveway now, John? Is your driveway,
How wide is
Oh,
our driveway?
it's 7 feet wide right now. The apron is about 20 feet wide, and we'll just direction it off in front of our barn and head it off into the existing lot that we're going to lot off.
we would bring the lot back to the building setback line, which is 67, and then we'd have a shared easement on both sides, so it covers the entire driveway for both lots,
Yeah, we would
back
widen
to the
it.
setback.
We would widen it to accommodate the turnoff
Yeah,
into the.
but that would be into the lot,
Right.
that would be back into the right of way, or out of the right of way.
You're probably gonna sell the house then?
Pardon me?
Sell the other house in eventually?
Correct.
But, no,
What?
no. He asked if we're gonna sell the other house.
Oh, no,
No,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not gonna sell it.
no.
We can't put a second house on the same lot, so we need to do a land division to create a new house.
Yeah, we're gonna apply for another lot, you know, for
That's what he said,
building
section.
permit.
That would be up by Joe at planning,
Yeah.
but if we can't get a driveway, it's kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
So basically, we're not asking for a new access, just a shared, change the
Change of use.
use.
We're okay with the driveway ordinance?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Second by John.
I know you can't hear.
Is there a second? Did I?
Jeff.
Jeff, yeah, sorry. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Approval is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in.
You guys have a Merry Christmas if we don't see you.
Mark, you
You as well.
Nice to see you, Mark. Here.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, thank you for coming in.
Happy holidays, Paul.
You as well.
You wouldn't have time to get all marked out, would you?
Thank you.
Text me.
Yeah.
Call me. Bracelet. Yeah. Just call me, just call me. Talk about the lot on here.
Yeah, the new one, because I know you got the survey and stuff, I'll find it.
I gotta get that finished before snow flies, so, yeah, we'll get it done.
Thanks, Mark, guys.
All right, have a good one. Okay, we will move back to item number 3, public comments.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about somehow that we're missing $2 million in the highway department. And I also heard that someone was fired in the highway department office. And it's something that everybody seems to know a little bit about, but nobody seems to know the details. And I know Jeff is on the finance committee, and I think between Jeff and Brian, it would be a really good thing to address the highway committee on where $2 million missing, what's going on with this and what we know, and all the details of this would be very appropriate to be brought up at this meeting. Thank you.
It's not on the agenda to bring up at this meeting.
Number 7.
No, sorry. Okay, you're right. Move into that. Okay.
Kathy Houghton, 604 Loft Street, Watertown. I am disappointed in this committee that we put some people over other people, and I feel like that's what this meeting was. As a citizen, I want it to look transparent. I want it to be transparent, and I want everyone to have an equal voice that is on the committee. And I feel like when you canceled your meeting last Thursday, that you were saying that one supervisor was more important than other. It looks like we're bringing votes to me. And that is what is being said around the community. So just so you know, it's out there. People think that some shenanigans are being done. Whether you meant to have it do that or not, that is what happens. And so we need to really work at consistency and try to treat everyone equal. Thank you.
Item 4, approve the minutes of the October 5th, 2023 meeting. Good chance to review the minutes.
Also move.
Motion by John,
I'll second it.
second by Dale. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Item 5, committee reports, highway safety condition concerns. Anybody see anything out and about?
I don't know if it's a safety concern, but I noticed on State Highway 33, I said to you in, cracks in the concrete are really, really wide. I'm talking, you got birds crawling, you know.
Really?
Yeah. And that fact, and then County A north of 33 is like a washboard, you know. So I'm wondering, concrete, is that really what we should be doing at 8th this next time? Because what I've seen does not look good.
Well, I can't really speak for 33 Fond Lake, Fox Lake to Beaver Dam, that's a older state highway. I don't know the details of the spec on that. I can tell you what happened on the north of Fox Lake. We were trying to be consistent with the state spec and the recommendation of Concrete Pavement Association, and that road got put in with non-reinforced joints. And when that road got poured, it was as smooth as this tabletop. It got fantastic compensation for ride quality. It was great. And later that season, the slabs cupped. They curled up. The joints weren't reinforced, and they all curled up a little bit. And you'll notice it fluctuates a little bit yet with humidity and temperature and things like that. Very unfortunate, very disappointing. We had many meetings with the Concrete Pavement Association and the contractor and said, do we grind those high spots flat to achieve the ride? Then the concern is when they do lay down and flatten out, which they do certain times of the year, then you'd have divots in that. So, very disappointing. Lesson learned. As long as I'm here, we won't do another concrete highway with non-reinforced joints. We've done several since very successfully. So, I wouldn't condemn concrete highways, but I would.
Well, the ones on 33 now are not as joints. I mean, from here to Fox Lake, they're
There's
all over.
something about that road, that road was real susceptible to heaves when the thing, during hot weather, that for whatever it was, whether the base is goofy or what, but that road had an awful lot
For
of.
that one, but we have a lot of miles of
I
good
mean, it looks like
concrete
there's
highway.
uh,
some repair to it. I mean, I don't know, did Dodge County do that?
We've done some repairs of joints out there and some bad slabs, but like I said, I don't know the detailed specification on that highway that's here when I got it.
So the reinforced joints are just the re-rods, right?
Correct.
They go in,
Yep, the baskets there.
yeah.
Yep. So, I guess to finalize that thought, we have a lot of good concrete highways, but and that was the standard at the time, and I don't agree with it, won't do it again. They're still doing it, but not here.
Okay, anybody else?
There's concern on Highway TW west of Kikoski on that curve.
Yeah.
It's very slippery, a lot of drive-offs on that. Is this because of the sealant? That's what the public perception is, that the sealant that we're putting on these roads make them slippery.
Right.
And then my follow-up on that is, why are we having to seal it right away? Is it because of the material that we're putting down that it needs to be sealed so soon, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. You got a couple of thoughts there. Let's start with the first one, that particular curve. We've been aware of runoffs there. Typically, in my opinion, too fast for conditions. There's many cars that they go through there successfully, there's a few that run off. Slow down. We've talked about it, we've checked the actual community maps report of reported runoffs, and it's not as bad as rumor and legend would have it, but there are some. We've talked about different solutions, and Nathan, maybe you want to explain what you've decided is the best course of action there for now.
Well, right now, we're putting up advisory panels at the curves, 45 mile per hour yellow underneath the advisory signs. that road was sealed 2 years ago. So I don't know if there was something recent or what, but
It's when it gets wet.
it's been there for 2 years.
Slow down, all roads are slippery when they're wet.
Yeah, the curb is designed for 55, that's why we didn't have, I mean, there's a curb sign there, but, yeah, I mean, when it gets wet, it gets slippery. I mean, I don't know if it's different than other pavement or not, but that's what we have for now out there, trying to remind people to slow down, especially when it's wet.
Was that similar to AW? Because I know AW was really slippery for a while.
It's a different product. That was, and there again, we tested that ourselves. And most of those incidents happened right at the county line. There was tractor trailers. And I think what happened, again, many vehicles a day traveled that very safely and successfully. What I think was happening is they were coming in to that area, bad speed, overreact, pump the brakes. Trailer starts coming out, you won't stop that. And that's what I think, because it was only at the transitions until we resealed that one with chip seal. For a number of reasons. One, we could see fissure cracks starting to develop in that surface already. So it was a couple of years sooner than we would have chip sealed it, but that's what it would have done anyway. Now, to answer your other question, why are we sealing new pavements? It's a very good and fair question, and we get it frequently. The new mixed designs have more recycled content and less oil. And you can see new pavements losing their color and oxidizing much faster than they ever used to. You can see it. They turn gray within a year. It's oxidizing, and it's the beginning of the end. We paid dearly for that oil, so the concept here is seal that oil in. Don't let them oxidize. Once they start to oxidize, they start to ravel, they start to dry out, they start to crack. So preserving what we just paid for is what we're trying to do with that new sealer. And we've tried at least 4 different products looking for the best and safest solution. And some have been better than others. Onyx was actually, when applied correctly, very good. Applied too heavy, we had the slip condition we had on AW. So we've gone away from that, and now that is not even any longer available to us. The product we used last year is serving very well so far. We have not had no slippery complaints. It still looks like it's performing its task out there. So trial and error. We're one of the few counties actually doing that aggressively right now. So we're logging all of this data and sharing it, and there's a couple other counties that are doing things similar to us, and we've been comparing notes with them and trying to learn what works and what doesn't, what's the best solution going forward. But that's the reason. Try to preserve what we've paid for and not let those payments oxidize prematurely.
And it'd be cost prohibitive to go with less recycled, I'm assuming?
Very expensive, as we know, oil prices are very expensive. And just adding more oil has an impact on everything else in the mixed design, so it's making the best of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of the best compromise to come up with to get a decent mixed design.
And then my other question is, did you have a chance, or Nathan, to compile anything on the ENW?
Yeah, I can show you what I got.
Excellent.
All right, so we can start at the beginning if you guys want. I don't know if you guys are all familiar with this intersection or not, so I went out and took some pictures so you can see what it looks like. It's right here. So if you guys don't know, Highway A and W just outside of Juneau on the map there. But anyway, so I took pictures from all directions, basically standing in a lane of traffic. So Highway A southbound, this is what it looks like. W eastbound, so it's going towards Juneau. This is what the approach looks like. Westbound, you're leaving Juneau on W, and then northbound on A. So you can see it's fairly straight, 90 degrees, vision's decent. Traffic control wise, this is a two-way stop. W stops, A does not. And the stop signs that we have posted out there look like that. It's a flashing stop sign. It's got a little two-way indicator there letting you know traffic on A does not stop, and then this is the METCD required sign for cross traffic does not stop. So that's what it looks like out there.
We have rumble strips.
There's rumble strips in place on W as well.
How deep are the rumble strips?
whatever that standard is, 3.5 inches.
Yeah, you can feel them when you go over them. They're deep enough to be noticeable.
You can set them at different heights, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can make them a little
Yeah.
You can make them
shallower.
shallower, they're not
Yep.
as, yeah.
But
But these
those-
are full depth.
These are actually fairly new, we put them in not that long ago. As far as what you're asking about, Jeff, you're looking for some data here, and this is what I have. It's a lot at once. I'll throw it up here, and then I have like a summary table I can show you guys, but this is 10 years. So crashes are listed chronologically. The first one was 2013, this one was last month. The database you pulled from is about a week or two behind live, so if anything happened within the last week or two, it wouldn't be on there. But I did this last week. First thing you notice is the two reds. These are the two fatal crashes we had, one in 2017, one in 2020. But the other thing you look at when you analyze crash data is you look for patterns to see what's happening the most out here. And those are the ones I've highlighted in yellow. You can see they're right angle accidents is the type, which basically means you have like a northbound and a southbound, or northbound and a westbound, or eastbound and southbound, basically two people coming in at 90 degrees to each other that hit. The one, you see I have some highlighted in yellow, some highlighted in white. The yellow ones there's 19 highlighted in yellow, and what happened in each one of those yellow ones is somebody on W came to a stop at the stop sign, then pulled out and caused the accident. So they knew the stop sign was there, they acknowledged it, but they either went too quickly or, I don't know. But it was specifically mentioned in the police report that the vehicle stopped and then proceeded into the intersection and caused the crash. The white ones that are right angle, it was not specifically stated in the crash report whether or not they stopped at the stop sign. They could have blown through it, it wasn't specified. One other thing to note on this sheet is this gray bar right here. This is when we put in the sign that I just showed you guys, the flashing stop signs. So chronologically, you can see what happened before those signs went in and what's happened after. You can see there's still people stopping and proceeding into the intersection after those signs have been installed. So that's the crash history that I do have kind of a little summary chart to put together to get a visual image. 42 crashes over 10 years. The yellow slice of the pie there, those are the yellow ones I had highlighted, so you can see it's nearly half of the crashes at the intersection are people coming to a stop, then proceeding into the intersection and causing a crash. The green ones are the same type of crash, but it wasn't specifically stated whether they stopped or not, or it was stated that they didn't stop. And then we have a variety of other ones. We had 6 rear-end crashes there. A lot of those are distracted drivers, somebody turning left, the other person wasn't paying attention and rear-ended them. 2 left turn crashes. This is where you basically have a northbound and southbound vehicle. Someone wants to turn left and they pull out in front of a car that's going around. And then we had 2 side swipes. These were people turning right from a left turn lane and turning left from a right turn lane. We had 2 of those. So that's the crash history out there. You can see some flags, 9 distracted driver crashes, 2 impaired and 2 related. These are specific flags where the police report has a note in there that the driver was distracted, impaired, or speeding. So that's the data for the last 10 years. Any questions about it?
I think that pretty well lays it out. For me, the reason I asked, I appreciate you compiling this, the reason I asked is that I've seen some complaints on social media about the county and the supervisors not caring until it's their family. Well, apparently, with statistics here, the people that need to care are the people driving. It's, the great majority of these are stop and go. So it's basically driver error that we're seeing here. This is a pretty open intersection.
I go to the intersection
And
a
it's-
lot, I don't know if you do, I go to the intersection a lot, but the only time you have a problem is if someone's in your mirror and you don't take that second to wait for the second time and then you pull out in front of them.
The other thing I'll mention too is the same intersection was discussed twice at our Dodge County Traffic Safety Commission. So I just kind of put that up there for you guys to show that this has been discussed there as well. And I brought up the same data I just showed you guys. I mean, here's the discussion we had about Highway A and W at that meeting in 2020, and then again, there was follow-up discussion in 2021. So just so you guys know what's being was discussed at other meetings as well, and it was the same conclusion you guys just brought up.
What recommendations did you have at those meetings? Any?
We,
Well, adding the flashing stops was the last change.
yeah, I
That
think,
was in 21.
it was, we discussed this late 2020 and then early 2021. And then I can show you on this list, those flashing stop signs went in right late 2020. So right about that same
It
time.
did improve the thing.
And as Dale said, I think some of those are struck from the right, that's that blind spot. The mirror and the post. If you roll up and give a quick glance, you'll miss that vehicle in your blind spot. And then there's not time to react. That's unfortunately the perfect storm.
You have to learn, you have to look twice. Once and come back
Roll up,
again.
yeah, stop and wait till that could clear. That's a good habit to have, and unfortunately not everyone has
And
that
the
habit.
alternative is making a four-way stop.
What is a post?
Oh, they post
Oh, the windshield and the.
Oh, I thought there was a post
Oh,
out
no,
there.
oh, no,
Oh,
that
okay.
would've been gone. That would've been gone.
Okay.
Fix that, yeah.
No, that post in your vehicle and the
Okay.
mirror.
The blind
And
spot.
some vehicles can be a pretty big blind spot.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the semi-tractors too, when you're driving them, the way they have their mirrors located, it's like, it's the best they could do.
Look around them.
If you can wait, you're fine. If you roll up
Thanks.
and
Yeah.
flash and go through, you might get hit.
Do you guys have any other questions
So,
about it?
the only question I
Four-way
have, and
stop.
I've asked you this
I don't
before,
think
you
there's
say
much else we
that
can
the
do.
state will not allow
I mean-
those flashing lights in their stop signs?
The public just has to,
I don't know.
Yeah,
We
I
can't even
agree.
put the bright sides on there.
Be more
first,
careful.
you know. If we can't put rumble strips in, we'll put spinners on, we'll put the bright sides down the post, and we'll allow that.
And that stuff just stands out like a sore thumb.
It really
Oh,
does.
man, I think it really improved.
Anything you can do to help, but they got pretty stubborn on that.
I think it's like with a lot of driving concerns, you know, we have to use common sense and good judgment when we're out on these roads, be it stopping and checking again before we go, be it driving a little slower in wintry conditions. It comes down to the operators, and we as a government body can only do so much, we can't ride with them. And when accidents happen, it's unfortunate, and I hate to see it, but people have to be vigilant and accountable for themselves.
It's a responsibility when you have a driver's license. Some people aren't good at that.
The department does their best to, if you see an issue on an intersection that's dangerous, we put up the flashing stop signs or extra signage to do what we can do. So we are doing our best to try to make them safe as we can, but just like you say, Jeff, it's at some point, it's up to the operator to.
Have we had any input from the sheriff's office on this?
Oh, sure, he's.
Well, they're at those meetings, those traffic safety commissions, that includes them as well.
Safety
I
committee,
mean,
state patrol is
should we
there.
get more
the
presence
county.
out there, or is that gonna help? Or, and then two, we've got a whole county to cover. We
Yeah,
can't have
that's
people
it.
camping out there, obviously.
Yeah, they'd have to be there at those
Right,
specific
at
times.
those given moments.
Right.
Alrighty, thank you for that, Nathan, a lot of good information.
You're welcome.
One other comment I want to make, and it's something that's not even happening in our county, it's road construction, and this is in Columbia County, where we just added on the G, G from Dodge County ends, and then, so they just resurfaced that road, and I'm sure it was more less expensive, and I'm not sure, you probably wouldn't like the construction at all, because that road was so narrow, we would hate to drive down it with trucks, because it was a really narrow road, there was no shoulder, it was just plain dangerous, and all they finally widened it, but all they did was just put gravel to make it wider. I mean, they didn't touch the ditch at all, they just added gravel to make the road wider, and so then the ditch has got this really sharp hole. And then they paved it, not in echelon, they got the strip right down the middle, so I'm just curious how long this road's gonna last.
It'd be fun to watch. I mean, you see it over the years.
Gee,
Oh, yeah.
off of 73?
Yeah,
Because that road has
I
got a
noticed
lot
that.
of, lot
I
of
noticed
trucks.
that when I went down the tractor the other day on the boat. Yeah,
They just added loads of gravel and made it wider, without touching the ditch at all. farther down the road, they did a little bit of ditch work, but on the Dodge County side, they didn't hardly do anything.
Keep reporting how long the thing lasts, so.
There's no free lunch there, you have to pay for it.
Yep.
I think they did.
There's just copious amounts of gravel they don't say it's
Oh,
unreal.
yeah.
There is just gravel like unbelievable.
Alrighty. And we will move on to item 6, Commissioner report, status of the recruitment and retention.
Well, I actually have good news to share. I do. And we have the last highway maintenance tech hire starts this morning. I'm sure he's out there in his orientation right now. So we have a full roster of drivers, and that's very, very good to have. We all feel good about that. These guys will start to get some snowplow training if it snows here, and we'll get them on board and get them going. So that worked well. Still struggling with mechanic, I'm on own. Hopefully we're going to interview another one this week. We've interviewed 3 very good younger guys and made offers, but they can't, as they basically tell me, love to work here, you got a nice operation, I can't afford to come. So we're still working on that. But we're still optimistic, we get the right guy, we'll be okay. Account technician position, which is actually the next one on the agenda. We were really struggling there, couldn't get a qualified candidate. We had one we thought was marginal and offered her an interview. She scheduled the interview and never showed up. Things have changed a little bit. The 1st of December, the HR committee, or HR department people revised the posting now and put what the January starting wage rate will be with that wage increase from the budget. And our IT department is transitioning to a new program for talent acquisition, which reaches out farther. So the combination of the two generated 6 more applications right now. We're going to interview 4 of those people this week. So it's encouraging. A couple of improvements here. The wage increase, I think, helped all the way across this recruitment process. And the new talent acquisition product that reaches out farther appear to be very positive improvements for us. So we're pretty optimistic about things. Thank you for approving that wage increase in the budget. I think it's timely and it's what we need. We're going to gain some ground with that.
Well, that's good news.
Yes, it is.
Okay, any
What,
questions?
if anything, can be done as far as the mechanics positions with the wages going? It's the wage coming in that we have a set higher rate, no matter what your experience level?
We have the ability with our current policies through HR to offer a higher entry-level wage. The challenge with that is you have to lift everybody then accordingly. So, we like parity in the shop. You can't bring in a new kid and pay him more than somebody who's been here 4 or 5 years without a ruckus, unless they're really a ringer. If they came from another operation very similar to ours, then you would have the justification to do that. We've not had that example, but if you do that, you just have to be conscious that you have to, there's more costs and repercussions. So,
And now is that due to, because we're a union now, right? So everybody knows everybody's wage, or?
well, we're public, so everybody knows everybody's wage. The union issue really isn't much of an issue for us because all they can talk about is a cost of living increase. It's not a real powerful negotiation with a bunch of things on the table. So that's not a help or a hindrance in this regard, in my opinion. But, the last fellow we talked to, he really wanted to come here because he gets worked a lot of hours, he never knows his schedule, he misses out on a lot of things he'd rather do, in his private life. He's looking for that work-life balance, so to speak. But it's gonna cost him a $10 an hour cut in pay. And he said, as much as I wanna come to work by you guys, I can't change my lifestyle that much. I get it. And he was really nice and almost apologetic. But that's how, that's how it is. So we'll talk to this fellow this week, and we've all realized that You know, we may hire somebody that's not real familiar with some of the things we do, but maybe strong in one area. If he's the right candidate, he'll learn the rest of it. You know, we get to do that Mac tutorial online for no cost to us and train our mechanics on the trucks. So the fellow we're looking at is pretty heavy in the ag industry and knows very little about trucks. And if that's the fellow we end up with, I think we can make him a truck mechanic, and that's what we'll.
Well, I think in general, if you have a mechanical aptitude, you can
Right.
broaden your horizons.
And we got enough versatility in the shop that we could take somebody and that's kind of, you know, a rookie in that area and still keep the doors open and get him trained up to speed. So that's what we're looking at.
Alrighty. Update on December 6th Drainage District public hearing.
Yeah, good. Through here. Dodge County owns, this is Highway 26 just north of Juneau. This is the airport property. And right across 26, we own about a 19-acre parcel here and about an acre and a half here down to St. Ann Road. I don't know the history of this or how or why that ever happened. There's two separate owners here. This is Dodge County. Another owner over here. This is a parcel we don't lease out for ag rent because it's wet. There's oak trees and some willows up in here. There's willows through this wet spot, and then this is all just reed canary grass back there. On a dry year, somebody will contact us and want to go in and make the marsh, so we let them. And typically lately it's been Kevin Voigt, the guy that rents all our other properties. We get the proper insurance, there's no cost, he goes in and cut it down, keeps it somewhat maintained. On a dry year, wet years, you can't get in there. There is and was a ditch here that flowed north to what was a ditch here that kind of just all grew shut, silted shut. There was no drainage to speak of. So it's an area we'd looked at a number of times with this committee back in the past to convert to a wetland mitigation bank. We on occasion need one for our projects. We could have our own credits there rather than pay for them. In the future, if we wanted to sell some of the credits to cover the cost to convert it, those were discussions we had. Basically just decided against it, never pursued it. One of the things you need to do to be able to convert it from farmed wetland to a wetland mitigation bank is have pictures of it with a row crop. We tried one year, couldn't get a row crop to grow. It's just too wet. So, this owner, Dale Kreitziger, on his own, cleaned all this ditch down to Oak Grove Road at his expense. And now, if we were to open our ditch up again, this will drain. But it's all on his land. Now, with no input from us, a group up there in that area between 26 and Oak Grove Road want to develop a drainage district. So they had a public hearing last week, and I wanted to learn more about it. I heard from some of the neighbors that were kind of opposed to it and allergic to it because drainage districts cost money. We know that from being part of drainage district number 1 over here. We pay a substantial fee for improvements to that with marginal benefit to us. So these folks want to develop a drainage district, and they had a public hearing on that last week to talk about the pros and cons of that, what would be involved. So I went. And they basically stated right up front that we already have enough positive votes to get this done. So it's probably going to happen regardless of what anybody else in the room thinks. But they're really good about it, and it's the process that they need to go through. So I sat there listening, and the fellow said he'd spent about $300,000 opening all that ditch up, and my assumption was he was going to want to recover costs already incurred and assess all benefited acreage. That's really not the case. He's done that, and it's done. They want the drainage district just so he has access in the future, or the drainage district would have access in the future to maintain the ditch that he improved. And then I guess if anybody wants to tile their own acreage, that would be on them, but we would now have an outlet. So, no decision was made, statements were heard. There's gonna be a 30-day waiting period, and then their engineer, Dan Pranuski, will finalize the report and submit it to DATCAP for a decision. What they said as far as assessment to the owners of benefited acreage would be a small fee for filing and arranging all this, several $100s, maybe less than $500. And then they like to get a deposit to build a bank account, if you will, for the drainage district, just for upcoming.
How big is the proposed?
Well, I tried to get the map from him and I haven't gotten it. When I get it, I can share it with you, but it's not big. It's only from here over to Oak Grove Road and north to 33. It's
Go
not
farther south?
just to Juneau, just to Clearview. It's not a
The
big,
water runs that way then, from where you want, where our ditch that's. full,
yeah,
then
then
where
it goes
runs that way, then
east
this
and
way.
goes under Oak Grove Road and eventually down to the river that way, but near the golf course. St. Helena over there. So, really minimal impact to us and some benefit. I talked to the owner up here and I said, yeah, you know, I think we would actually benefit from this because then I could open up our ditch into yours. He goes, open it up, I don't care, that's why I dug it. He's just really a good neighbor. He said, I opened up some of these as I went along that were plugged shut as well. He said, I just didn't open yours because I didn't know where you were at with it. So, from what I can see, and again, I don't think we really have a choice, I think we're gonna benefit from this. There'll be a small input from us for 21.5 acres of benefited acres there, but, yeah, I think it's gonna be a gain for us.
Would you consider tiling it then?
Well, yeah, or at least put a crossing in and seeing if it, you know. We haven't tiled any of our land. That's a discussion we could and should have here at some point in time. See what the payback on that or the return of investment would
I think
be.
Dale Price is a tiler, isn't it?
No.
No, it's
Jeff.
Jeff. That's Jeff.
That's Brett.
But, yeah, that's the long and short of it, and I just kind of wanted you to be aware of it. I think we're gonna end up in another drainage district, but this one much smaller, and they don't anticipate any additional work needing to be done.
So when it's not District 88, that was a nightmare.
Well, nothing else, we'll have land that we can at least rent and get some income off.
Right.
So why is it again that we hold this land?
It was bought, actually, I think I know how we got it. I don't know the story of this strip here yet, but this was bought from the Roll family when they bought this farm over here.
Okay.
Milton owned that, so they bought that too. And like I said, I just really don't know the history of that, but it's access from St. Anne up to that property. But that's very wet down in there. That's almost cattail marsh down here. Now, given an outlet, that may dry up too.
So we don't actually have any purpose for the county to own that land?
No, it's not part of any airport clearance area or anything like that. It's just there. But if we could drain it now and rent it out as ag land, there'd be some benefit.
How many acres is that?
19.
You consider selling it?
I've talked about it.
It's probably not a lot of value, it was all too wet to work, but maybe
And now that there's an outlet,
now that the outlet
Can
is.
change
It
it.
could be improved now.
might be better to sell it and let whoever buys it put the money in.
I would agree.
Maybe they'll want it.
Yes,
Spray backside of his. Yep. Throw a culvert in the ditch and go in there and, you know.
Where's the cemetery?
Cemetery would be south of that.
Is south,
Back towards town, right?
So it's down, yeah.
so it's not connected anywhere to the cemetery?
I don't know what that little, you said you don't know what the history is of that
No, I don't.
little strip, of whether there's must have been an access or something,
So
otherwise,
who owns that strip?
we, county.
The county owns the strip too? And that ditch ends at the beginning of that strip?
Well, from there, it just kind of wanders down through that wetland. It could be ditched on to St. Anne, or maybe at one time it was. But it's just all silted full of cattails.
You have to get some older photos to see.
Okay, Item number 7, 2023 budget status update.
Well, yes, there have been rumors flying around, and we've maintained here the whole time that there is no money missing. And we had a meeting last week in this room with county administrator, finance department, our accounting people. Finance director was attending remotely, and they brought in a big spreadsheet of overdrawn accounts that we needed to talk about. They were preparing to make some kind of a presentation of finance committee later today about some of this stuff. And in less than 10 minutes, we corrected their reports. We're not overdrawn, as we've said all along. So they're gonna go back and rework with the new information we shared with them, and I think everybody's very comfortable with where we are. There is one account that I'm expecting us to go run, and that's not news. We've talked about that a number of times, snow and ice for 2023. And again, to remind you that our snow and ice budget runs January 1st to December 31st, not through the season. So we budgeted $2.2 million that went into effect January 1st of 2023. And we spent the vast majority of that January through April. Remember, we didn't have a lot of deep snow, we had a lot of ice and a lot of events, and they all cost a lot of money. So we went into this fall season, I don't remember the numbers exactly. I don't remember, but we talked about it. We said we're probably going over 200,000 or somewhere in that area is what we had. Typically, we try to earmark and encumber enough fund balance at budget time to have a $600,000 anticipated need for November and December. Today, I think we're at 160,000 remaining of what was there, not touching the encumbered monies. We've had very little winter, and that's great. We've been out 3, 4, maybe 5 times with salt trucks and some scraping. We are proactively anti-icing and spraying brine for these frosty conditions like we're going to anticipate this week.
Bridges primarily.
Yeah, bridges and ramps. So, we may go over on snow and ice depending on what we get the next 3 weeks. But we're not in bad shape. The one area we haven't had a chance to work with the finance department on yet, but we've promised to have a meeting to work through that, is the 400 fund, which is a separate fund of monies solely for highway projects, sales tax, grant monies, ARPA, all those. Well, I can't say ARPA goes into the 400 fund, but it's all part of our project budget, which you've seen many times. The tables and spreadsheets that Nathan makes and shares, and here's our budget amount, here's how our project is going, here's the work that the county crews do, here's what the contract amounts are, and he's done a very good job tracking those again for 2023, and our 2023 fund is in the black, but we don't have that all firmed up with them. We need to sit down and make sure that they have transferred monies as amended. If you remember back in spring of 23, we did 2 amendments. One was to move $740,000 from the county's general fund to our 400 fund to complete the W project, which was built into the budget from the start. Then we did another budget amendment to take $400 of highway fund balance and put it in highway maintenance for additional seal coating. They don't know when they're trying to see if they in fact move that money into our funds. It's things like that behind the scenes that we need to firm up and make sure things have been adequately relocated, amended, or accounted for. And with Stephanie's, I'm not
I
speaking
can
for
just
you,
add to
but
that one budget amendment, that was needed because when Dave Ellinger was here, it was actually your own money, and then he put it into a fund where it needed county board approval just to use his own money. So that's where one of them came. So this is still like trying to find communication from the previous finance director to, the interim finance director to the new finance director. So there is miscommunication there, and that's all. And the ARPA money, that can never be mingled in with your general fund, so that can never go into your Fund 400. So that's a different accounting mechanism that they have to get used to too, because that ARPA money, it's not free money, and it's not easy money to work with.
right.
So,
Thank you. So, the good news is,
I may be a little slow here, but what brought the issue up anyway? I mean, what caused the whole?
sure, when we started the budget process back in June and July, the finance department reviews the existing accounts from their perspective. And they said, Highway, do you know you're like $2.3 million short, or projected to be $2.3 million short at the end of the year? I said, no, we're not. No, we're not. We didn't run anything over. We manage this at a very close level here. We reconcile daily and we post daily. We're not overdrawn. Well, our records show that you're gonna be $2.3 million overdrawn by the end of the year. That's something we're gonna have to iron out, but it's a huge process. And so we went through the whole budget process with that being unclear. And basically, in the simple explanation of it, we are a Wisconsin County Highway Department. We account to DOT standards. We do job cost accounting, different than any other department in the county. Present finance department employees are not as familiar with that as we wish they were, or they wish they were, quite honestly. Everybody struggles with this, and that's not unique to Dodge County either. We then transitioned office managers mid-season here, which further complicated things, but still very confident that we've not run over. We don't spend money we don't have, and we hawk that and monitor it. One of the biggest errors was we have cost pools that we have to allocate. If this is getting too deep in the weeds, you can stop me at any time, but one of them is our buildings and grounds expenses. It's expensive to own all the property we own and to maintain it, pay all the utility bills and the depreciation. That's cost pool. For conversation's sake today, let's say it's $1.3 million. So it's there as a cost, but then it gets reallocated through all the other business units and it zeroes out. Because it's in the shop, it's in the hourly equipment rate, it's in our, everything we do gets an allocation cost for buildings and grounds. They saw that and plugged $1.3 million of revenue needed to accommodate all those costs, not realizing we've already allocated it, so you doubled that cost. They did the same with our employees' benefits. A lot of benefit cost here. And run that down, let's just say for conversation's sake today, that's the other $1 million. They plugged revenue in up there, needed revenue for all those expenses, yet we've allocated it out and assessed for it in all the other business units that we have. So if you plug a number in there again, you've just doubled up that expense. And that's what happened, and that's what we were able to demonstrate here in about 10 minutes. So it's just it's a lot of moving parts to this, and new people in new roles, and like I said, we had about a 10-minute discussion and could see that things aren't what they appeared to be. They're going back now to reshuffle the deck with this new information, and eventually we'll have a final accounting, but that's where we believe we are. But we still need to firm up that 400 fund so that everybody knows what went in and out of there and what the fund balance is in that fund. They're not questioning whether that's solvent or not, just what's the right, did everything get done appropriately?
Like I say, there was no way, I mean, all the projects were under budget, you know, so there's no way we were.
Yeah, well, we track this stuff and work pretty hard to be open and upfront and stay in the black.
Yes, and it's unfortunate that it got into the rumor mill before we could get it sorted out and get it handled to everyone's satisfaction, but it is what it is.
The good news is,
We're good.
okay.
Yeah, we're good. I guess you already kind of talked about snow and ice as part of the budget. I don't know if you got anything else.
Well, 106,000 remaining, and we haven't tapped the encumbrance, so.
And there's, right, there's
Forecast
unbalanced.
looks good. I mean, it would just be good for everybody if we didn't have to
To be dry through
go into the
Christmas.
red this year for that. That always helps keep fund balance healthy. And
Well, one event could wipe that out.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
As a 3-day snowstorm, it pretty well take care of it. But they're not predicting that, so hopefully the predictions are correct.
Weather's fickle.
Yepper. Item 9, discuss attendance at the WCHA Winter Road School Conference.
The dates are there. I don't have a final agenda to send everyone. I've on that conference committee where we developed the agenda, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty good one. At least certain parts of it would be appealing to you, fellas, if you had time to attend and hear all of it.
All good information if you can make it.
Yeah.
I won't either.
And that's fine.
Prior conflicts,
That's fine. Just, if you want to get in, I'd like to get you registered, get you a room if needed, or however that comes together, but I understand.
All right, well, it's, if you think you can make it work, get a hold of Cindy to get you registered. Project updates. Nathan, what are we on the year?
Our 2023 projects are done, basically. The one thing that our guys are still working on is Highway E down by Hustisburg, putting a guardrail along 2 sections there where the slopes are really steep going down towards the lake. The one section's done, and they're working on the second one now. So that'll be done before we get snow. And then that'll wrap it up for our road projects that we did for 2023. 2024, we're working on design now. I'm anticipating we'll do the same thing we did in 2023. It'll be one bid. We won't split it up like we've done in the past. So I think all our projects we already did bid out later this winter yet. One other thing I did put together for you guys, if you're curious, Brian and I had talked about showing you something here, and I know I have this in map form as well. I'll put that up in a second. But this is a 10-year history of the projects that we've done. So back starting 2024, 15, 16, or starting in 2014, 15, 16 up through this. I'll have a map up next to kind of show you guys all the roads. But basically, these are the last 10 years. We've done 142.4 miles in the last 10 years. And as you guys know, we've kind of amped it up the last few years here. So, and then going forward in 2024, we have another 23.5 planned. Just to show you what we've done, I mean, this is 142, that's about 1/3 of our miles, maybe a little less than that. In map form, this is what it looks like. Blue roads are the roads that we've done in the last 10 years, and the orange ones are the ones that will be next year. So just to give you guys an idea of what we've done and where we're going.
At this pace, it's actually making a difference.
It is, it really is.
You're on a 25 to 30-year life cycle at this pace, and that's commendable.
Yep, given the limited resources to get this far ahead of it, I mean, from where we started here some years ago to where we are now, it's a huge improvement.
And last month, we re-ran all the roads and did the updated pacer ratings. We gotta do those every other fall. So what I'll do is, in the past, I put together kind of an analysis to show overall where we're at with our pacer ratings for all of our roads. I'll do that again for you guys. I'll probably have something by February. Takes a little bit to kind of crunch all the numbers and come up with an average and all that stuff. But I'll have something for you guys yet this winter to show you where we're going and how we're progressing. So, but yeah, we just did those pacer ratings. It was a couple weeks ago. We finished that up, so we'll have that as well.
Good.
Thank you.
Very good, yeah. It's a lot of progress has been made in getting our system in way better shape than it had been. Thanks to everybody's efforts.
We used to go over there.
Pardon?
That's what we used to go on, there's a lot of roads out there that are bad.
Yeah, sure is.
This is the best pace this county's been on in a very long time.
Absolutely is.
Very long time.
I don't know what things will look like after the ARPA money is gone, how we're gonna finance this moving forward, but what do you think, Dave? Yeah. Shake the money tree a little harder?
Well, it comes down to a lot of what the state does and how much funding they're going to be putting out to the counties and municipalities, so.
Exactly.
You know, BIL's been a part of this as well. Our Highway B last year was done under BIL. We're gonna get a section A done on BIL. That helps as well.
And then also M.
Yeah, right.
For BIL.
The future BIL is a bit questionable. I don't think we're gonna see a big federal surge to put more money into that, but I don't think all the money's been spent. And it was speculation from day one that not every state is gonna be as organized and aggressive as Wisconsin has been. And there's every chance on the federal level, there'll be some residual funds that could be reallocated. So we're hopeful that because we dove right in head first, that there may be some residual funds coming back to Wisconsin, and we could, reapply for some of that.
With shovel-ready projects,
Right.
that's the key.
Yep, and so we'll have some again, and there's also a chance that the town association fund didn't get completed because the towns couldn't all react like they needed to, they didn't have wherewithal to get shovel-ready design and get their applications in order. So there may be another round of BIL applications, and we'll be keeping you informed of that, and hopefully be eligible and aggressive to apply.
There'll probably be a lot of town money available because the towns just don't have the money to spend $30,000-$40,000 on an engineering project. You don't know you're gonna get it or not.
Not when I figure your whole budget, how
I
can
know,
you?
I mean, I've had numerous conversations with
That's
people
the
on
criticism of that from the start. The towns just can't move like the counties can.
It's too cumbersome for towns to take advantage of.
Does the county want some more votes?
To what?
County wants
More roads.
Yeah, that'd be a short discussion.
I know because it's the elephant in the room. Is there a reason we haven't done any by Ashland?
They're all-
It's all
That-
white
They're all
down.
new?
They don't need it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, pace rating wise, that's the best area of the county down there.
Dave does.
Yeah, well, there's really not any poor 2 and 3 roads down there.
Most of them in pretty good shape.
Ernie did a lot of hard work to get his area taken care of years
Okay.
ago.
All right, that's all
where
I
I
need to
live. They're
hear.
done.
Okay.
That would be
It
the
does look kind of
accusation.
odd. It's like the only
Yeah.
township that doesn't have any.
Yeah, no.
We don't have it on.
You don't need over there right now.
Okay,
Good observation.
thank you. Thank you for putting that together, Nathan.
Oh, you're welcome.
Very helpful. All right, and we have item number 11, F, utility accommodation policy fee structure revisions.
Okay, I don't think I have anything up there. I think I sent you this.
Yep.
This is the one, we have the utility accommodation policy is about 25 pages thick, and it's what we use anytime we grant permits to any agency, public or private, that's working in our right-of-way. If you need a crossing for a tile, you'd get this permit. Power company for replacing poles or adding new facilities gets this permit. And it's a very successful permit. It's basically, we've adopted the WCHA version, well, actually, the Dutch County wrote the WCHA version, which we encourage all counties to adopt so that it's uniform for the utilities wherever they go. So the basic policy is boilerplate. Then each county has an addendum, has their own map, has their own individual requirements for certain things. One of those is the fee schedule. So the copy I gave you in your packet is the fee schedule page. And we updated this 2 years ago to reflect our current costs for reviewing and issuing permits. And then typically, if you're gonna do a tile under the road, or somebody's gonna get a gas service, patrol superintendent does a couple inspections. If he can, while they're out there doing the work, make sure they have their traffic control in place, and then when they submit that, hey, we're finished, please have a look, he goes back for final inspection to make sure that they've done an adequate job backfilling and cleaning up after themselves, then he'll approve the project and it's finished. Well, what we've experienced in the last year is an incredible amount of permits for broadband for cable installation, which is good. It's what we need, it's what we want. I get permits for 8 and 10 miles, one project. And we're doing that for $850. And they're bringing in contractors from all over the country. Some good and some not so good. We've actually had to stop. In fact, we put a cease order on them now. No further progress until you go back and clean up the mess this crew is
It must
making.
have been like this in my neck of the woods this last couple months, because they're doing it along W, they're doing along C, A, C, P, and G, all at the same time.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's crews from everywhere flying around over here. East side's really a beehive. They technically want to do every road in the county, state, county, and town roads. So they're coming. The money's here, VIL money. We need it. We learned that during COVID when people had to stay home and kids had to school from home and couldn't get connectivity. We need this. But it comes at a cost. And some of these contractors get paid by the foot, and all they do is plow it in wherever they're putting it in the shoulder, they're putting it in the ditch bottom. So we're stopping them on the county roads, and they have to go back and relay what we won't accept, and they have to clean up. They leave rock piles and mud and open excavations everywhere. And it's costing our patrol troops a lot of time to go back and ride herd on these guys. So we stopped them. You're not going any further until this is cleaned up. I'm not approving any more permits until this is cleaned up. So we need to, enforce our policy is what we're doing. The reason I bring this in here is I would recommend we consider a per mile cost and not $850 for anything greater than a mile. We're losing some ground. I think we need to do a better job of recouping our costs when they're coming at us at this level.
What did you recommend then? 850 a mile?
That would be my recommendation. A mile's a lot of trench, a lot of stones, a lot of headaches, and a lot to police. And like I said, I'm gonna make them go out and locate everything that's been installed in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Because some of it, we can clearly see is in the ditch bottom up in that front slope. Even though the permit clearly shows it out at the right of way line. These guys come to town and put the plow on and just go. They get paid by the foot, and they don't care. They're going back to Oklahoma when they're done here. And that's there for us forevermore. So I would like to recommend that we amend this doesn't need any action other than highway committee to amend that fee to $850 a mile.
Would do you feel that'll be sufficient to cover our costs?
I think so. I think we'd be in a much better position than we are today.
Well, right, because they can do 8 miles, 5 miles can only cost 1 mile.
Right. We had one come in down by Columbus and go all the way up to Brownsville. And I made him break those permits up by town, so at least we got some fee out of it. Each town is a separate permit. And they did a very good job. That particular firm was top shelf. AT&T had a very good contractor. They did very good work, good communication. That wasn't a problem, but I can't say that with all these Spectrum and Charter crews that are running out here right now, they're a challenge.
They're all over my place, right?
They're
all over.
Someplace the wire is laying on top of the ground, and so when your town crews are going out cutting roadsides,
There must be
be careful.
15, 20 trucks in there right now working.
Well, they're going because the ground's not frozen. They really like it right now. Yeah, that's good. Get in and get done. Just do it right. Just do it right. Clean up after yourselves.
Well, I'll move to amend the fee schedule to $850 a mile.
All right, motion by John.
If you think that's enough.
I think so.
Is there a second? Second by Dale. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
With that. And we have disposal of surplus highway right-of-way in the town of Lebanon on County Hole.
Okay, you guys have seen this at past meetings. This is the part north is facing to the right here, so I can rotate if you guys want. But this is, the property owners are here and they own this property here and they wanted to purchase this triangle. This we determine is excess property. We don't need it for road purposes. We had talked about it. You guys had set a price at $200. at the meetings when they were here. It's just now, this is gonna be you're saying, you're gonna recommend to the county board through a resolution to approve this sale.
Basically a benefit to the property owner, but certainly of no value to the tax.
Yeah, I don't know why that whole area was obtained. It was, because this is right in here by this curve.
I think that back in the day was probably a right angle.
And I suppose
That
right
we had a
angle
Yeah.
curve there.
And then they
corner.
bought property and put the curve in there and just
I think that's all it is. They just obtained
never
a
returned that right away.
whole triangle rather than just what they needed for the curve.
A lot of times there could be an old road bed in there too, then, couldn't there?
It's possible. But the area of this is .490 acres. That's the surveyed area. When we looked at it, I think Gary had calculated it was .488. So I'd say he came pretty darn
Split
close.
hairs.
But for your guys' purposes, for the resolution, you have to have the plat, and it's part of the package there, and then this is the legal description of that triangle area, so.
So we need a motion then or anything, or?
Yes, a motion.
Yeah, this would be a resolution of the county.
Motion to remove the county board.
Also move, because we already told them we were gonna do it.
Yeah, we did. Motion by John. Is there a second? Second by John. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, send her on to them. Resolutions coming out for everyone, it's John Henry.
Also need resolutions for the equipment side. I've been working with court counsel last week on those resolutions, but I've not gotten them unless somebody has them now. Otherwise, I will get them and circulate them this week.
It's not on the finance agenda today.
Okay.
I don't think it is.
It's not, I believe so, either.
But if they were ready, Jeff will be with the finance today, get it signed at least.
Okay. We'll have to
If it's
work on them.
not on the agenda, how can you have them signed it?
It's on here, you could sign
Oh,
on.
from the highway, but not
From
from
the highway
finance.
department.
Okay, thank you, I misunderstood.
Okay. Determine the next meeting date and time.
First Thursday's the fourth.
January 4th. Reasonable? Yeah.
Can we start at 4 again?
I guess that seems to work the best for everybody.
Do you want to meet here or something?
Here?
Yeah.
4:15?
January 4th, 4
Yeah,
p.m.
me too.
Here, I guess. Future agenda items. What you think, Nathan? Don't have anything for projects to talk about at that?
By then, probably not, because, I mean, we'll keep working on the design work, but we can put it on the agenda if you want, in case something comes up, but I don't anticipate much being done between now and then.
Yeah, we will formulate the agenda as meeting date gets closer. All we have then is a motion to adjourn.
So
by John. I'll second it. See, 25 here, all. All those in favor to adjourn? Aye. Yeah, I'll just declare it adjourned.
That's like to use that responsibility.
8:29. Minutes yet, Dale.
So, yeah, no, it's on the planning